we first had to go through quarantine, and I was among the last batch that went through quarantine in China. So for 1 week, I was in a hotel, and they were giving us food. And boy, that food was different, wasn't it? Hello guys, and welcome back to Ala Nation. My name is Kate. Now, today I'm gonna, I think we will continue talking about China. I think the Chinese series has been quite popular, and last time I was talking about common things that Sweden has with China. Now, you know I'm Kenyan, I gotta represent. So today we're gonna talk about common things China has with my country, Kenya. And let me tell you, but when I was moving here, I had zero expectations, because when you see Chinese food, you know, they use the cliche Chinese food that people eat abroad, which by the way is nothing close to what they have here. To be honest, I like the one abroad, but I know majority like what is here. But yeah, when I was moving here, I had zero expectations. And I remember during quarantine, we were so hungry, so we literally, what am I babbling about? Yeah, when I moved here, we first had to go through quarantine, and I was among the last batch that went through quarantine in China. So for 1 week, I was in a hotel, and they were giving us food. And boy, that food was different, wasn't it? So I remember the first day they gave us breakfast. I did not even bother to open that breakfast because I was like, oh God, it's probably some disgusting. I don't want to eat it. So same happened to lunch, same happened to dinner. Did not touch it. Now, second day, I was so hungry. I mean, I had my noodles, but what are noodles? For someone who lifts, you can imagine noodles are just nothing. So the second day, I was like, I'm so hungry. No, I didn't even touch it in the morning, neither lunch. It was in the evening where I was like, okay, let me open and see what is in this food. So I finally opened the breakfast batch or lunchbox. And guess what I found? It had a boiled egg, sweet potato, and boiled corn. And when I say corn, I think, is corn the yellow one? Are they all corn? Because there's the yellow one and there's the white one. And in Kenya, we consume the white one a lot. So they had the white one. And I was so happy. I had not seen the white corn in a very long time. And I didn't expect to see it. And you know, when it's boiled and it's warm with some salt, with an egg and sweet potato. Yeah, I mean, I have access to it now every day, so I cook a lot of sweet potato, all colors. You know, they have the purple sweet potatoes, they have the white ones, and they have the yellow ones. I am enjoying that a lot. I'm enjoying the corn. I cook it with almost everything. Excuse me, salads, everything. I'm in heaven. Another thing that I found was actually, I write my notes. Collard greens. Collard greens. And this is what Kenyans call sukuma wiki. Guys, they're not kale, they're called collard greens. I found them in China. I never found them in Sweden. So you can imagine how happy I have been. And then there's also the Swiss chard. The Swiss chard is, I'll put a picture in all this. Swiss chard is what Kenyans call spinach, but it's actually not spinach. I don't know the Chinese name, but I love it. I love it. So yeah, And the eggs as well. The eggs in Sweden were always, they had a white cover. The yolk was not that yellow. Oh. But I love it here. I love how the food tastes. Although I don't eat their food, I eat my own. I cook my own food, but using their plants or whatever, yeah. So I cook my own food and it tastes so good. It's not frozen. I buy fresh food. Yeah, that reminds me a lot about Kenya. The other thing, yeah, ugali. I mean, we still had ugali I could find the maize flour in Sweden, but actually I'm able to buy maize flour here. And when I want to buy it, guess what I type when I want to order? Ugali flour. Yeah, Chinese people now know. I think it's the Chinese influence in Kenya. Like when the ones who come from Kenya and move here probably start eating ugali, and that's why you're able to find it here, because I don't really think we have a lot of Kenyans here. So it has to be the Chinese who are introducing these things. The other thing, now that's just food. Another thing that Sweden and, sorry, oh my God. Guys, I'm a dual citizen, so sometimes I forget. Kidding. Kenya and China, when it comes to family, generally Africans are very family oriented, right? So it's the same with Chinese people. Some of them go abroad, but they have to come back because of family. And it's a beautiful thing. I love to see that, because I see a lot in Sweden that family means nothing. And that's sad. Then there's the social life. It depends, to be honest. It really depends. The younger Chinese people are now really adapting to individualism, but there's still an aspect of socialization, and they socialize a lot like Kenyans. They want to talk to you. I know upstate they're very shy, but they're also very curious. So it's easy to they're friendly, they're not cold. They do not have an icebox where the heart should be, like some people that I don't want to mention because I don't want to get cancelled. But yeah. The other thing is the status symbol. Things like cars, the neighborhood you live in, the clothes you wear, if you speak English, the schools you've been to. That's a big deal in Kenya. Same thing here. Same thing. People ask you where you live to know where to place you. Unlike in Sweden, where there's a sense of equality. Yeah, there's still that tinge of status symbolism in Sweden, but it's not that loud because you have to stay humble. Jantelogen. But yeah, there is that. And then there's hierarchy. Kenya, of course, hierarchy is the way to go. You have to talk to your boss before going to the top boss. Same thing in China as well. And so is how even the government operates. Bureaucracy, a lot of paperwork, unnecessary paperwork. Something that could have been done with one step is done with 15 steps, maybe to create a job for another person. But is it efficient? Is it really? Yeah, so those are some of the similarities that I have seen between China and Kenya. I know there are some Kenyans who watch this, who have experience in China. So please let me know if there's something else, or if you disagree with some of these things I'm saying. Let me know in the comment section. And as usual, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Until the next episode, ta-da!